Oh, good boys. You both came up here at the same time. Come on, let's go night-night. Hello, beautiful souls. How are all of you? This is going to be just a blackout, just a chat, not a reading, but some things that came to me today. As you come in here, just tell me where you're tuning in from in the comments. Hit the like button if you feel moved to do so. Super Chats is also on. I had the most amazing day today. And I keep using the word authentic lately more than usual. And that's probably because I'm getting into a place in my life where authenticity is a must, not just for myself, but for others, for people around me. If I see inauthentic behavior, I call it out or I walk away from it. And I'm at this point where I can see through people so well. It's always been that way, but more so lately, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's something I'm doing with diet or, well, I know why. There's several different reasons. Once you've done cellular cleansing for decades upon decades, and I've fallen off, I mean, here and there, let's be honest. I've never fallen off of the veganism, the plant-based eating, the purest way of eating, the colon cleansing. I definitely don't fall off of that. That's like my holy grail. I've definitely fallen off from time to time where I haven't done as well as I could. But please hit the like button if you do feel moved to do so, because it does help the video. But I feel like there's something that's been awakened in me where I have to share things that happen that are positive, or I have to share when I learn something, or I have to share a download I get that I think can help all of you. Last night's reading was harsh. I realized that. It was also very real. When I get those types of downloads, it's almost impossible for me to stop them from coming. And yeah, it just was overflowing. When I do random readings like that, it's really important to take what resonates and leave what does not. If something's triggering to you, it could be triggering because it is about you. And I always say, to be a reader, you have to come from a very healed place. You can't harbor jealousy, envy, anger, bitterness, spite. Spite produces the worst karma. That's why you should never hold on to spite or anger. You can't have those things within your heart space and be a reader. You can't. If you are, you're not going to be a good reader. It's going to be a repetitive cycle of your story, and you're going to be projecting it onto others. The only time you want to share about your story is when you're trying to teach others from a place of, this is what happened to me and this is how I handled it. That is when it's conducive. That is when it's helpful. But any other time, it's just a repetitive story. It's a story that goes around and around in your mind. So what happened to me today that was so positive, I was running errands, Had great amount of energy today, just full of energy. And I think I'd mentioned to you guys, I did a long distance out of state move, and I had been very tired the past few weeks. And just I'm a little OCD about organization and putting a home away. I always create a beautiful home, and I have a lot of things, and I needed to organize those things, and so it took me down for a minute. And I also had to refund a lot in clients, and that was very stressful for me. Financially, the move was very, very, very expensive. I spent close to $30,000. The move itself, the movers cost 10,000. I paid my girlfriend Pavlina to drive my grow boxes and my greenery over because you can't drive, movers cannot legally take agricultural things over state lines or something like that, but you can yourself. So there was a lot of there was a lot of little things, and I was so grateful. My family lives closer, not close, but closer, and my brother-in-law and nephew and sister and mom came to help me hang things a few weeks ago on a Saturday, and that was very helpful. My brother-in-law brought his mower. He was going to give me his mower, and instead he bought me a weed whacker, and I'm like the weed whacking queen on the grass. It's so cute. And I'm filled with love. And I think my energy came back because not only did I relocate out of a situation where I was literally paying to live in a place where the people were very controlling, very in my business. I didn't have peace and privacy. They were money hungry, hurting for money, and trying to come after me for different ways. It was very negative. But I also have let go of any past pain and wounding, source wounding. Our source wounding can come from a past life. It can come from our childhood. It can come from so many different places. And having let that go has been freeing. I also have let go of some things that happened to me, definitely not for me, but to me, from people that held a lot of spite, anger, and jealousy towards me. And what I can tell all of you is there's a few things, and I want to tell you what happened today because it's super positive. Let me tell you the good thing first. So I don't want to skip around. Let me stick to what to look for in a reader. When you're tuning into any spiritual person, okay, 100% do not tune into a reader that talks about death or predicts death. That's very negative. And you don't need to have that in your head. If someone's doing a Capricorn reading and they predict something like that, it's very negative. A lot of times people see the death card and they believe certain things. No, the death card's the sign of Scorpio. It can be death and rebirth. It can be death of a business, death of a relationship. It doesn't, it can be death of a car, your car dying on the highway. There's literally 25 to 30 meanings for each card. When you tune into a reader and they talk about death, I literally immediately switch it off. I have 2 readers I listen to regularly, maybe 3. But, that's one thing. Be wary of that. Another thing is someone who projects. It's one thing to share a story that happened to you, but when you sit down to do a reading, for example, when I sat down to do a random reading last night, there's never a projection of something I've went through. Why? Because I've healed. Once you heal your source wounding, there's nothing there to draw from, only memories that can be lessons for other people. There's never anything there to draw from to project into your reading, right? So I don't think anyone I know personally listens to my channel anyway. So that's one thing. But even if they did, it always comes from a place of a pure heart, even if it's negative. The truth about spirituality is in order for there to be light, there has to be darkness. So that's another kind of type of reader to look out for. If someone is all about love and light, angelic healing, everything is well, bliss, peace be with you and also with you, and polyamorous love and all this bullshit, you have to understand that with light, in order for there to be light, there has to be darkness. There has to be, in order to shine a light on how to heal, on lessons, etc. Now, I got to tell you, my energy the past few days has been so substantially all-encompassing, beautiful. I feel like I have my energy back to shoot my videos. I feel like, when you go through something traumatic, recovery is needed. Give yourself some credit. Because some of the downloads I was getting through last night when I couldn't sleep last night because I heard something, and now whenever I think I hear something, I think it's a frickin' rodent, even though I've had the house proofed. I'm a little paranoid now. But one of my dogs doesn't allow rodents to exist for longer than a minute. But one of the things that was hitting me is some of you are in separation and you're hurting, and there needs to be a conversation, and it needs to be based from a loving place. I got for some of the masculines that they had been leading a life of kind of validation, trying to validate what they perceive you to be, the feminine. And so maybe drinking too much, overindulging, maybe reckless sexual encounters, things like that. That's very sad because that opens up a whole other can of worms. For myself and personally, how I think, and I encourage all of you to watch a podcast interview. I think my assistant, I think she just got it up and edited. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure she did because she usually never sends me the items for it until it's up. It's with a guy named Professor Spira. He has a YouTube channel on here. He's on Instagram, Professor Spira. Tell him Andrea sent you. Say Andrea Cox sent me. He posts some pretty harsh videos. And one of the ones he posted that just caught me dead in my tracks was one where he was commenting on another videos. It was a young lady. She had to be in her early 20s, mid 20s. And she was speaking, and it showed the back of her mouth, and it looked like black tonsils. You just never know where people have been, what they're eating. Are they full of parasites? You cannot expose yourself to stuff like that. And if you are with a man and you've had a separation and he's exposing himself like that, then that opens you up to that. So you have to be very mindful. We're not just talking about things like HIV and AIDS. We're talking about things like mono and Epstein-Barr, which are kind of with you for life. They're like autoimmune and just, ugh, You can get that through kissing. You can literally kiss another person and get mono or Epstein-Barr and then be stuck. Seriously, before I even smack lips with someone, I'm like, can I see your paperwork? Like the full on. Honestly. That's the truth. I mean, I think the only person I never required that from was a person that I saw as my divine counterpart. And that was because the heart connection will always be so freaking strong that it's like impossible to break that heart connection. It's just a divine past life soul tie that I'll love until the end of my days. So, getting back, let's talk about what happened today, and this is beautiful. So, I was in Trader Joe's and I let this young man who was a yoga instructor who needed to get to his class go in front of me because he just had like 6 or 7 items and I had a whole cart full of stuff. By the way, I just shot a Facebook Live. I deleted the YouTube Live on my other channel, Andrea Cox TV, because it was sketch. You couldn't even tell, but I'll upload a better version there. I have 3 videos to upload on Andrea Cox TV this week, so please subscribe over there to my wellness channel. Very well known in that industry and really going to be putting a lot of focus there over the next few weeks and months, years actually, working on some huge projects in that arena. But what I wanted to say is I just shot a live video on my Trader Joe's haul it's on Raw Chef Andrea on Instagram, Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox on Facebook. But I let this young man go in front of me. We were talking about how he's a yoga instructor, but he actually instructs online, which I found interesting. And I love yoga, avid hot yoga person. Haven't went in quite a while, to be authentic. I've went once since I've been here. And then I went to another store to get my favorite chocolate. I had to stop at a Safeway to get my Naughty Girl chocolate. This chocolate that I shouldn't be eating. It's vegan and gluten-free, but still. And this woman let me go in front of her. It was like 20 minutes after the incident with the Trader Joe's guy. And that may seem silly to you guys, but I was floored. I couldn't stop thanking her. I was like, I wanted to get home to get alive. I didn't ask her, she offered. And I said, thank you so much. God, people are so nice here. They're so nice here. People are so incredibly nice here. They're just so nice. And so it kind of, I've been in this mode lately that has me back to where I used to be before I was traumatized. And I was traumatized. I've shared this with you, and I can share it from a loving place because I've healed. I was traumatized by someone I was involved with for a very short amount of time years ago who proceeded to ruin my name on the internet, blacklist my website, had a partner that was insanely jealous of me, never even met her. And before that meeting with that person, who, by the way, sought me out on the internet, he found me on the internet, begged me to go out with him. I didn't even want to date him. Before I met that person, I had a very positive outlook on life. Very, very positive. I thought all people were good. I saw the goodness in others. I never saw the bad. And that person had single-handedly taught me that there will be people that you will be kind towards, help along their health journey. I definitely helped him heal. He was just a mess. That will literally harbor jealous, envy, competition with you. Men can feel competitive towards women, especially if women are in their power. And when I met that person, I had already been on the news 6 times, wrote my first book, had already worked with celebs. There will be people that will harbor that against you and try to pull you down. And it changed the trajectory of my life, of my career, of my life. It stopped a lot of people from getting healing and help. There was a lot of illegal activity involved. And I realized that I am getting back to that girl I was. that was always positive and always saw the best in people and always saw the glass half full instead of half empty. And it's got me motivated, you guys. It has me so excited for life. I am so excited for life. I'm excited to evolve my spiritual business to help people who have gone through these karmic, toxic, codependent relationships where people form attachments and try to play a role of life ruiner in your life, and how to turn it around, how to recognize it, how to call it out, how to report it, how to turn it around. It's caused me to really stand in my power. I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this with all firmness in my being. No one can rock me now. No one can rattle me. No one can shake me. No one can get anything past me. But on the flip side, that sweetness, that kindness, that compassion for humanity and for animals and for the elderly and for children, and the love in my heart, and seeing the glass half full and seeing people for the goodness that's within them is just pouring out of me right now. Like, I must have thanked the woman at the Safeway like 15 times. And the lady checking me out was laughing. She's like, "We're nice people around here." I was like, "I know, I'm seeing that. Everybody's nice." But the truth is, everybody was nice outside of the people I paid a lot of money to live in a house. Everybody was nice in Las Vegas. Everybody else I met was amazing. I made great friends there. I miss my friends. Everybody was great in San Diego. I miss people in San Diego. Don't let one bad apple spoil the whole frickin' harvest. Don't let one bad apple spoil the whole harvest. I'm going to quote that. Don't let it happen, because there are good people out there. There are really good people out there. Sorry, you guys, I heard something in the kitchen. It's freaking me out. Every time I hear something now, I think it's a, yeah. But don't let one bad apple spoil the harvest. And I'll tell you the lesson I learned living in that last house. The female I was dealing with, she was letting one bad apple spoil the harvest. She had a horrible upbringing. It sounds like she had someone that was not good to her growing up. And so she was constantly looking for the other shoe to drop, or someone to deceive her, or someone to not pay her attention or something. It was so toxic, you guys. I was like, Jesus, when does this end? It was bad. And I was paying to live in a home and had to deal with this woman's emotional issues. And I kind of like that it happened, because it actually showed me that I was letting one bad apple spoil my beautiful, abundant, gorgeous, creative, healthy harvest. I'm like, this is not going to be my story. Are you kidding me? I'm letting this shit go. I don't want to end up like this. This is no way. And meaning I didn't want to end up like the person that was projecting on me. And, when you have a lot of light, there'll be a lot of dark people that will project on you. And my mom actually told me this from the time I was really young. I'll never forget. I think we were in like a Sam's Club. It's like a Costco's. I've never been in a Costco's, believe it or not. We were in a Sam's Club, and I'll never forget. I had moved back in with her after I went through a breakup. I was pretty young. And we were walking through someplace, and some woman was just giving me the evil eye. And my mom noticed it, and I was like, no, she wasn't giving me. And she's like, oh, you'll have this your whole life. She just laid it out. And I've had a lot of people project their darkness, their envy, their dark energy from not doing what they're meant to be doing. Oh my God, you guys, I'm hearing something. Hang on. Let me make sure the doors are shut because it's, hang on. Maverick, come. My dog is like, puts an end to anything, any movement in the house. Go. Check. Check down. Come on. Okay. So, you have to remember that when you hold a lot of light, people want to see you become dark. They want to see you in that confused state, in that negative state, in that sad state, in that desperate state. So what you have to do is you have to keep your vibration raised so incredibly high that that's unable to happen. How do you keep your vibration high? Through the foods you eat, through the company you keep, through how you lead your day. And I'll tell you, this was my downfall for a while. I allowed my healthy routine. I've always been like a health nut where I used to get up at 5 a.m., make an elixir tonic, go to the gym for an hour and a half, go do cryotherapy or whatever, come home, get my sauna, get in my red light bed, make a green juice. I mean, I was systematic. I let a low vibrational couple who wanted to see my demise creep in and cause problems in my life where there were none. And once I figured out who it was causing the problem, because here's another thing, when you're high vibrational and you're full of light, you don't look at what other people are doing. You have no idea. You literally kind of are a bit clueless when people attack you because you don't feel like that can exist. But once I figured out who it was, and I was actually super savage and smart when I did it, I talked about the situation without naming names, and the female was dumb enough to, kind of admit it publicly on a page of mine. Once I allowed that to happen and saw who it was, I was able to put an end to it and then to start the healing process. So you have to remember that people want to see you in a state of darkness. Don't give it to them. And when you listen to a reader, remember, a reader, I mean, even people that don't, that tried to cause this in my life, they're probably the ones listening to this. You don't, because people who do things like that, they're always paranoid. They always have to know what other people are doing, right? They always have to know. They always have to be on the lookout. You'll know you're healing when you start seeing the good in people again and you start seeing the glass is half full all the time. And when you start getting back to routine, routine is vital. Was it the day before today or the day before yesterday? I kind of had to lay around all day, and it didn't feel good. It didn't feel like it was right to me. So routine is crucial. You have to let go of the things that keep you in a low vibrational state. In my opinion, drugs, alcohol, smoking weed. I know a lot of you smoke weed. I'm sorry if you do. I don't think that's high vibrational. I actually think it lowers the IQ. They've done studies on it. If you look at the effect of weed long term on the brain, and someone who starts smoking weed very young, they actually stay at that age mentally. There's scientific studies, not that science is anything nowadays, but this is old school scientific studies. You have to stop doing the bullshit that keeps you in a low vibrational state. You have to stop entertaining people like that as well. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it out loud. My family's uber positive, but every once in a while you get that one that's having a bad day, right? I had a family member reach out to me earlier about some BS, some pictures about my dad or something. And I just ignored it. I ignore when stuff is like low vibe. I'm like, dude, I'm not even going to address it. Like, ring me when you're having a better day. Like, just you have to compartmentalize stuff like that. Now, again, there has to be darkness in order to see light. So it is okay to have down days. And, I would be lying to you if I didn't fully 100% admit that the last few years, I had some pretty dark days of depression. I had a lot of great days, but I had some pretty dark days. And I'm not the type of person that will medicate. I don't believe in medication. It's just me. And pharmaceutical or otherwise. And I don't drink alcohol, and I don't have meaningless sexual encounters. So in order to cope, I had some days where I would lay around and process. But that's how we heal. That's how we heal. We have to lay in that and process. Whether it was laying out in the grass at a park near my old house or whether it was laying in bed with my dogs, I had to process. I have the luxury to, be laying on a biomat in front of a resonant light machine and have all these little doodads that like healing devices that help. But it's okay to honor yourself in that way while you go through these things. But some of you need to really level up because you've done some shady shit in your life. And you're still blaming a person that did nothing to you to put you in either the breakup you're in or the self-loathing you're in or whatever. You targeted someone that was innocent. You targeted them from day one. I always hate when I see like a TikTok video of someone, selfless plug, it's Andrea Lee Cox on TikTok. I always hate when I see like a TikTok video of some scorned woman talking about her ex-partner's new partner or some woman talking about her partner's ex-wife or girlfriend. I always hate when I see things like that because it's so low vibrational. And I've been attacked by someone that didn't even know me for years online, fake accounts, real account, contacting my clients, etc. It was so low vibrational when that went on, and I know how it feels. And so it always makes my heart feel sad. It's always a little bit like jolting when I see that. Because my mind doesn't think like that. When I wake up, this literally is how my mind works. I have a little book of prayers I say that someone gave me. She was actually a Haitian woman named Bet Roebuck. She was a colon hydrotherapist in Ohio. She gave me a little book of prayers, protection and things I say. I have something of my grandma's and an ancestral altar, and I do my prayers and meditation. I light my intention candles, and I lay with my dogs in front of the resonant light for about an hour, actually, on whatever modality I feel I need. And I get up and think, how can I manifest a miracle today? What can I do to help someone in their life? Recently, I had a woman come to me for the 8888 portal, and I helped her get a refund back. I'm really proud of that because she deserved it. And I gave her some good solid business advice, and she deserved it. And I think, how can I help myself improve? And lately it's been getting back to that routine I used to have before those toxic people came into my life to try to disrupt it. And getting back to that sweet girl of seeing that the glass is half full, not half empty, and there is good in everyone until they prove otherwise. And so that's what I want you guys to focus on, because some of you may not be feeling well as well, like I haven't. And now, it's time for you to reach out to someone and talk and get right with yourself and say, you know what, tomorrow's a new day. My mom always says that. Tomorrow's a new day. My mom is so cool. She says, you can manifest that. And I love her so much. She says all this, some stuff she's always said, like tomorrow's a new day. But I know that manifest thing came from me because I'm constantly saying it. But, just take your power back, reach out to people. You guys, some of the people that look like they're doing the best are not, okay? I was one of them. I would put on a smiley face every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday to shoot my videos. And it was literally as I was transmuting pain into creativity and healing myself. I look back at some of my videos. Oh my God. I saw one the other day where my wrist was fractured and I had a little hand cast on it. And I remember that whole week leading up to that. And I remember how freaking just stuck I felt and sad. And that I wouldn't be able to move myself out of the space and time I was in the situation. And I look back at that. Man, I saw that the other day. I was like, wow, it was like a Facebook reminder. I was like, oh my God, look at you. You big, strong Amazonian warrior princess, you high priestess oracle. Look at you now. Okay, my dog has found something, so one moment. Hey. What are you doing? No. Okay, you guys, I think it's time to go. I think my dog he's pretty schnazzy. Yeah, he's found something. So, boy, this house is really getting I live in Wild Animal Kingdom, and every day there's a new animal to learn about. Thank God they're mostly outside, sometimes in, but looks like I need to go learn about another one. So I love you guys. Jesus. Let me grab my big gloves. I'll talk to you later. Bye.